What does Hollywood think we want to see, but in reality barely any of us care about? At this point, all of it. I was kind of heartened that the Paul Giamatti movie out now seems like it actually has a storyline, but I'm so shell-shocked from losing 3.5 hours of my life to see something that might be good, and spend $20 on it, too. Not a lot of people have the time and money Hollywood wants or needs us to throw away just so it can keep its inordinate needs in order. Assholes women lead roles. No, they're not strong, they're just behaving like make protagonists did, which should be changed to instead of assuming that it's what people want to see applied to the other gender. Sincerely, all the women around and all the men with a sense of decency tired of growing up bullied because they didn't behave like caricatures. The anti-hero who is really a good person but no one realizes it until they save the earth from total destruction, but for some reason they are the only one who can do this because everyone else is apparently not capable. One day you're working at Walmart and the next day you're a superhero. Wake me up when it's over. People who are so attractive they border on alien in appearance. We need more ugly actors, more normal looking people. I want people who are beautiful in an everyday kind of way. It makes the movie experience much more engaging and immersive when you aren't hit with buccal fat removal and Botox all the time. Actors who are just unrealistically good looking playing everyman roles. When I look back at movies and rock pop stars of the 70s and 80s, they were good looking but in an ordinary way. I suppose shit tons of people now have veneers and other work. Maybe I am out of touch. Reimagined for a modern audience, how stupid do you think people are? All you did was race swap the main characters, or completely screwed up the original music, or just hired a high-grossing actor to make up for a bad live-action remake nobody asked for. I could do without the good guy stopping short of killing the bad guy at the end of a violent chase scene cause he wants to be better than violence, followed by the bad guy trying to win and the good guy shooting him. Like, just stop. It's such a cliché. Some movie pulled from X period because nostalgia is still being abused by nostalgic marketing. And then the movie will come out and it'll divide the fandom of said source material. Some will say it's great and most will say it absolutely sucks. Perfect female protagonists. These perfect no-flaw women who can do everything with no effort and have no flaws or struggles. It's just fucking boring storytelling. Give me a character who despite failing doesn't give up and earns her moments. Those utterly cringy scenes in I don't know how many movies when they want to show characters bonding, so they have them spontaneously start dancing or singing together and then laughing about it. Fucking disgusting nonsense. Movies that are confusing on purpose. I also hate when they use the word ambiguous to excuse unclear endings. Just seems like an excuse for not being able to come up with a good explanation of things themselves. 80s reboots, sequels. We don't need 1,000 Terminator, Ghostbusters, Predator although new one was decent, RoboCop, etc. sequels or reboots of Total Recall or Conan the Barbarian or whatever else. Nauseatingly complex conspiracy movies, anthology shows fixated on a big twist to shock the audience, but it's just stupid and for people who love to wank off to the feeling of impending doom. Nauseatingly complex conspiracy movies, anthology shows fixated on a big twist to shock the audience, but it's just stupid and for people who love to wank off to the feeling of impending doom. Elevated horror. I just want good scares. I don't need the monster to be a metaphor for trauma. It's overdone by now, and the scares are still mediocre. Also, jump scares don't count. Chris Pratt voicing every nostalgic character ever. He's an enjoyable actor, but he's becoming the Rock level of too much appearances that I visibly get annoyed at seeing his name now. The generic white tough kind anti-hero trying to save the world while also bagging the woman. If you look at the straight-to-DVD streaming releases, it's all the same thing. I don't know the technical term, but the part where there is conflict in a comedy movie about 20-30 minutes before the end and we have to take everyone seriously. Not for me. Stop making reboots and remaking stuff that's already been done well enough. Make fresh stuff and base ID on stuff you haven't already made movies about. Outrageously fake explosions. Like, it's fine to play things up a bit for a movie, but a car hitting a wall doesn't need to detonate like a small nuke. Battles between people with insane powers or technology being resolved by extremely protracted fist fights. Also, vertical beams of light weapons. In this thread people don't understand the prompt and list things that they personally don't like but still make tons of money at the box office. Another fucking reboot or any random romance made up of an amazing complex wonderful woman and some male human representation of mayonnaise. Female-centric superhero films rather than superhero films with female characters. We want Wonder Woman, But we don't want the marbles. A 3-second shot of a gay couple in the background that can be easily removed for the Russian Saudi Chinese audience. The main women characters has to date the main man character even if there isn't a lot of chemistry or reason to do so. A million movies about art and artists. La La Land got every single nomination that year. It was mediocre at best. 50 many side character plots that all seem to resolve themselves by the end of the movie. Comic book heroes. Enough. Shoehorned in bad guys. A lot of interesting ideas and stories get messed up because someone has to be the bad guy. Frances McDormand shitting in a bucket. I will stand by Nomadland being one of the worst Oscar picks of all time. There has to be a kiss sex scene between the male and female character regardless if it makes sense for the story. The sex scenes, like the movie sucks, so why waste 10 minutes of the film you could have dedicated to the plot? Any film that isn't made specifically to entertain. Stop with trying to inform us. We come to be entertained. Putting the actor du jour in every goddamn movie for a certain period. I'm looking at you, Chalamet and Robbie. Unrealistic and excessively long hand-to-hand fights, car chases, and endless action scenes. It is so boring. Oppression Olympics where those affected can only be saved by a white American movie, and slavery movies sexualize everything. It's boring now, sad that they still put catering to the male gaze over substance. More of the media. But Fox News talking about CNN and MSNBC talking about tone. Shop talk. Who cares? Movies without a good story and smart dialogue. But they keep dishing out sensory overload content. Politically correct flawless heroines who can always take on the patriarchy and racism and win. Smiley face, smiley face, smiley face, smiley face. Movies where AI is a threat, probably just because Hollywood is threatened by it right now. Vader and other hot characters. Didn't kill them and the fans made me hate them. Remakes, reboots, reimagining of old franchises, sex or race-swapped remakes. I want to believe this is true of movies about executives and corporations. I think South Park has covered this. Put a woman in it and make her gay. Female protagonists with no flaws who never lose and never suffer. 2-hour 20-minute movies that only have 90 minutes of actual story. More movies and TV shows that are set in Southern California. Prolonged artistic sex scenes that aren't revealing anyway. Biopics. 99 of them are boring and are agonizingly formulaic. I love this concept of Hollywood as a collective entity. Analysis of sports games during halftime by experts, activist actors and actresses, and preachy speeches. Movies that prioritize message over entertainment.